Eats.
DeRusha Eats, brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board and Ryan Reynolds. You know him as a giant movie star, but he also has been an incredible entrepreneur, starting in the alcohol space with a gin brand. And today he has a wine brand that is on sale first in Minnesota. And so he agreed to do an interview with us. Ryan Reynolds joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Ryan, how you doing?
Hi, Jason. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm excellent. Have you recovered from Halloween weekend? Did you dress up? Did the kids dress up?
Everybody did. But it's with 4 kids, it's no joke, because that is not, I mean, the candy part is the equivalent to crystal methamphetamine when you get home. You have to, like, hide it and stuff. And thank God the neighborhood that, we live near, we just go, they really throw the whole neighborhood sort of takes part. And thank God they don't hand out the full-size chocolate bars. Where when I was a kid, that was like the holy grail. But these places, just nothing but, like, sometimes pennies, 5 pennies taped together. That's the gift. That's the one that every kid adores.
Oh, well, it's a collector's item. They're not making them anymore, so you want the pennies.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, you're right. That is true. Yeah, that is I think it's not a bad way to reframe it for them. I shouldn't have let them punch me in the face.
Right.
When I said how wonderful that was.
It was a gift. It was a gift for sure. Wine. Why wine?
Well, I think wine is, obviously has a nice long history of romance, but it's also going through, I think, something that I would characterize as there's a symmetry with Mint Mobile, what wireless was going through during its sort of something that's ubiquitous, something that's everywhere. And the reason I think Mint worked so well is that suddenly they woke up and realized they didn't have to pay this giant price for Verizon or AT&T or,
right.
Pick your mobile carrier, but they get the same thing for way less. And, that was a space I liked. I mean, it's not, that the idea of, like, comparing ugly estates to Mint obviously is, they're very, very different. Drinking Mint Mobile is not advised, but, the parallels are actually weirdly similar. And I like that it's not kind of most people in my position do aspirational kind of stuff. And I really love the spaces that are anti-aspirational, that are just everyday, practical kind of things at a high level. It just doesn't have to have a high price tag. So
I went to a corner liquor store yesterday, bought it's not a box, it's not a bottle, it's not a can, it's sort of this, like, how would you describe the packaging? Yeah, Tetra Pak.
The Tetra Pak. I never know if that's like is that a Canadian term?
I don't know. Do people know what that is? I don't know. It's sort of like
I don't know. Yeah.
No. It was a little tricky in the store, right? Because I was like, it's not with the bottles. It was not with the box. But it is this new category. I think you've nailed the marketing side of this, in that you look at wine. And a lot of people are frustrated with wine, right? You feel like you need to know stuff. You need to be educated. You need to spend a lot of money. And I just, I spent $13 on a liter and was drinking it shirtless in a swim. I don't know, work.
That's exact. Wow, it's so weird how my vision board gets it right every time.
The 50-year-old shirtless guy is exactly what you were shooting for.
Hey, I'm right there, by the way. Yeah, you're right. It is glass coming from the booze business. I mean, working in aviation for so many years, glass alone is a fortune, and a logistical nightmare, and a weight nightmare. So, when you can get something that's still premium, but is in a container that allows us to save money, so much money that we pass that on to the consumer, but also that you're able to carry it, move it around, it's not going to fall and smash and destroy, your entire living room in 1 second. It's one of those things that it's durable, and it's. I'm surprised that they haven't really kind of centralized their focus on this particular type of packaging yet. Box wine gets kind of a bad rap, but that's also what makes this awesome, I think, is that I love the idea of bringing a box wine. The fancier the event, the more I want to bring just a nice box of wine.
Ryan Reynolds is with us. You know him as a movie star. You know him from Deadpool. But your business acumen has been getting a ton of attention. Time Magazine just profiled your company, Maximum Effort. I saw that you were just at Harvard Business School speaking in front of a class there. What is that like for you to be, the subject of a case study at Harvard Business School?
Well, I think like I look at these things like life is not a TED Talk. There's an angle of this kind of thing, what you're saying right now, where I could kind of approach it and say, oh, well, here's what I identified early on in the business and how I could shift it over and leverage it for this and that, and sort of look at it like a game plan. But I really believe that everybody's winging it, and the more experience you get and the more sort of steady you are under pressure and the longer you're willing to sit with a problem, well, those things aggregated create outcomes that are, pretty good. Now, I don't think people focus ever on the failures. There's so many more infinitely more than there would be successes. But, something with my kids I focus on too, because I'll go outside and, people will be asking for selfies and all that kind of stuff. And it's lots of pats on the back. And if you're a kid and you're looking at your dad who's walking outside and experiencing that, it sort of makes me kind of not real almost to them. Like, how do you get, and so when I get that time with them alone and I go, you have no idea how many times I've flopped and screwed it up and made a mistake. But here's the trick is don't waste the mistake. Use it, you got to use the mistake. Yeah. So they don't talk about that. So going to Harvard.
Is that interesting? I worry about that too with my kids because you want to introduce, like, the way I grew up was not the way. I was a news anchor here in Minnesota for a long time,
right.
Kind of a small
Everyone knows you,
local celebrity. Sure. But you want your kids to have some adversity and to struggle through their mistakes and understand that mistakes are part of the journey.
Yeah, but your kids are going to make mistakes, whether you raise them, in a different way than you were raised. That's not their problem. I had that too, when my kids they'd like any kid who's like 3. They're not the terrible 2s, by the way. They're the horrendous 3s.
No.
But they would be not impressed with a Christmas gift or something, and I would immediately launch into, when I had Christmas, I got a pair of socks, and that was it. My dad was a cop and with 4 kids, and that is, and then I realized, my wife was the one who said, it's not their burden to carry. They didn't, they didn't design it this way, so I realized, that's very sensible, and you're exactly right. So, a kid, it's hard being a kid right now with social media silos and that kind of pressure and bullying coming from every angle, not just physical, but digital. And I don't know, man. I think it's tougher than ever to be a kid. And if you're worried about them experiencing adversity, I think that's the last thing you need to worry about. It will find them. Trust me.
It's true. It's true. Harvard. I'm sorry. I took us the wrong way there, but it's all good.
No, it's a good day. Harvard. No.
All right. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've given a few talks there in the past, and I love it. I love talking to students, but I'll talk to a local high school, and I'll talk about almost identical things as I will in Harvard. And Harvard is really tough because those guys, they're stepping out into the world with that on your resume. I think that's hard. There's even hard stuff that are associated with that would orbit that kind of pedigree because. There was an article that got a lot of attention recently. It was something to the effect of like my C+ or my C- student will, kick your A+ student's butt, and I do think there's some truth to that because the easily distracted dreamers, which is what I was, and I was a straight C student at my best. We kind of tend to build stuff and stick with stuff. And, it's the ones that are falling in line, A+ students, that there's another side to that that's a little bit dark as well. These are people that are often people pleasing and they're really trying to fall in line and meet someone else's expectations, not their own. And so I don't know. It's always a double-edged sword. I wouldn't be disappointed if my kid went to Harvard, but I also wouldn't be disappointed if my kid didn't go to college at all. So I just think it's, becoming who you're supposed to be is the key. And when I sit in front of those guys, I don't pretend to know anything. And I think honestly, you're 50, I'm almost 50. I think the more as you march inexorably forward with age, you realize I don't know anything. I have a feeling about things, and I can, balance that with integrity and hard work. But most people don't really know anything. I'll tell you, like tradespeople, they know.
They have a skill. They know how. Right.
Yeah.
But your point about hard work. Here you are talking to an AM radio host in Minneapolis to support, a brand that you believe in, to support Ugly States, which is now launched here in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think a lot of guys in your situation wouldn't have this conversation,
No, I only found out just now that this was local. I'm kidding.
AM, Ryan. I mean,
AM, mono.
Honestly.
Love that mono.
That's right. Yeah.
I know. I honestly, Jason, this is the thing I do talk about when I'm asked about these kinds of questions, because most people want to talk about marketing. Marketing's fine. Marketing's great. But emotional investment will always beat financial investment. So when I was building aviation, I was calling distributors, I was calling drivers, I was calling all kinds of people that are boots on the ground making it happen, the ones that aren't ever really seen. And I'm doing that not because I'm some kind of benevolent messiah. I'm doing it also because that's how you build a brand. Because when you talk to the driver and a distribution head in some smaller town in domestically or somewhere in the United States, anywhere, that guy's going to talk to 2,000 other people and talk about that experience and about how, this company's different for this reason and that reason. And I really believe that, losing layers and kind of connecting with people on a human level is actually the marketing. The marketing just supports it. It's not the other way around. And I believe in Ugly Estates. Ugly Estates is an excellent, incredible wine, and it just comes in a different package with perhaps the ugliest dog on planet Earth as its mascot. And I love that about the brand, because it's coming 90 degrees to expectation when in that category. And that's
magic. Yeah. Ryan, really appreciate the time. This was fantastic. Thanks for visiting with us.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here for Livia Weight Control Centers. It is the time for you to lose all the weight you want for just $199. This is Livia's greatest offer on GLP-1. So many of you have experienced life-changing results thanks to GLP-1. Livia Medical can make sure that your life-changing result really is lifelong lasting. They've got nutrition support available for as little as $17 a week right now. I want you to feel and look your best in time for the holidays. At Livia, what you get is more than just a prescription. You get a personalized program. It's designed for you. Real expert support in center. I go to Coon Rapids, or virtual. You can do it online. So go to Livia.com. Right now, you can explore the offers. You can reach out for a consultation. I want you to feel great. I lost 45 pounds. I've kept that weight off for almost 3 years. Losing the weight is awesome. Keeping it off is the game changer. I feel so much better, more energy. I sleep better, less pain, all of that. A new lease on life. I know that I'm going to be around for holidays for years to come. So do it. Do it now. No better time to start than today. Go to Livia.com. Feel great in time for the holidays. The offer is limited time. Restrictions may apply. Ask your Livia Center for details or get to that website today. Livia, Livea.com.